least 50 years. I think we have to actually go past the Great Depression too. We probably have to get to the 1800s at most.
Well, I think we might have spoken about this before, about how we go back to the Great Depression and deposit a bunch of money in a bank that didn't fail. Mm-hmm. And then, just fast forward to the future, and all of a sudden you have several $100,000 or even millions of dollars.
Right. Or start investing in stocks that are going to really take off.
Like Google or
Xerox.
And sure.
Yeah.
Not to name drop or anything.
Right. You still run a risk of people noticing you like your grandma or your grandfather and messing stuff up per Back to the Future.
You know where they kind of grew up, so you can kind of avoid that area.
Oh, yeah. That's probably, like, we just go to Canada or something.
Sure. Well, no, I can't. On my grandmother's side, on my mother's side, that was all the Canadians.
How about Mexico? We safe there?
We'll be safe in Mexico.
All right, we're going to go to Mexico or California, Southern California. It's all it's the same thing. It's just
it used to be part of Spain, sure.
Okay, so that's where we'll go. But if we go back too far, we're going to have a hard time finding it because it won't be on a map. So we got to make sure.
And you won't have GPS because there's no...
I'm going to bring my GPS with me.
But there's no friggin' satellites.
There's satellites. They lie. There's satellites. Come on. I'm bringing all my money first.
Well, see, you can't bring your money.
Yeah, why not?
Because the money that's printed today is not going to be worth anything, 80 years ago.
All right, well, I'm going to take all my money and I'm going to buy gold bars with it and take the gold bars back.
Yeah, see, the gold bars, you have to have some kind of common courtesy. Currency.
I have courtesy. Courtesy enough to bring my money and give it to people.
Diamonds, gold, coprolites.
Coprolites?
Petrified dinosaur poop. That might have been worth something.
Why don't I have petrified dinosaur poop? I don't have any now.
I was just using that as an example.
Okay, well, diamonds and gold is a better example.
Sure.
For me. How about silver and metals? Precious metals.
Precious metals.
Okay. Well, bring your identification in case something happens when you're there. Even though they don't know who you are, there'll be one of those like Jimmy Hoffa things, like a missing case, like a missing person. And then eventually they'll find you once you catch up. That's what happened with Jimmy Hoffa,
What?
He was from the future, and he went back. And then he died, and everyone was like, wait a minute, what's going on? Jimmy Hoffa, okay, we know who he is, but he's dead. Where'd he go? He went back to the future.
But it was also the 60s, and it was different back then.
No, but watch, we're going to catch up. In like 10, 15 years, we're going to find his body because we've caught up to real time. You'll see.
Okay.
All right.
I'll just take your word for that one, because you lost me on that one, man.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, if I were to go back in time, like 20 years, all right, I'm going back 20 years.
20 years.
Let's go 30, because I'm under 30.
Okay.
And then I establish myself. I stay for, a while.
Okay.
All right, and everyone knows who I am, because I've been there.
Why would you want to be famous?
No, it accidentally happened. I'm just a really cool guy.
Like you had some kind of a crazy show on YouTube or something?
No. YouTube wasn't around back then. But it would work, though.
Sure.
No, I'm just a really good guy. People like me. I become famous accidentally. And then it's like, all right, you know what? I'm sick and tired of this place. I'm going to go home.
Yeah.
So I go home. And everyone says, hey, where's Jimmy Hoffa? Dave Brochet. Where's he?
Who?
Jimmy Hoffa.
Oh, yeah, Jimmy Hoffa.
Where is he? And they're going to say, oh, I don't know. He disappeared. And then watch, we're going to eventually...
The mob took care of him.
The mob took care of, surprisingly, everybody. Mm-hmm. No, I don't think so. We're going to catch back up to Jimmy Hoffa. And whenever he was really from, eventually we'll get back to that era and we'll see his dead body laying in the middle of the street or something.
The middle he doesn't die, like, honorably? He just gets hit by a bus or something?
I don't know. I wasn't around in that future yet.
Oh. Like, if I went back, maybe I'd even go to the 1200s or the 1300s and just bring, like, a bag of pepper.
Wait, we're going to get to you.
So this is all about you, Dave. Got it.
Personally, I'd probably go back to, like, the 1800s, mid-1800s, I think. And I would stay forever until I died.
Really?
Yeah.
So what would you do?
Well, I would bring all my money, first off, but I would bring it in forms of gold and diamond and all that.
Would you be a robber baron?
No, I'd be the Red Baron, the guy in the pizza boxes.
They didn't have airplanes back then.
I would have so much money in form of diamonds and things. I'd be totally rich. I would be like the Ritz-Carlton of 1850. Was that a person or just a hotel?
I think that's a hotel, Dave.
But was it named after a real person?
Carlton was a character on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
See, I gotta look at this as a selfish point of view because I'm the one with the time machine. I'm the one going back. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to make myself wealthy and famous and happy. And I'll probably do things for the better because at that time, I'm going to have, hey, this is how you make a computer. Like, I'm going to start taking technology faster. Like, imagine what Wall Street and all that stuff would have been like in the 20s and 30s if they had the proper technology.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I would avoid the whole Great Depression. Y2K, I tell everybody, hey, don't worry, everything's gonna be fine. You know, I wouldn't be around back then, but my message would get across. You know,
I kind of know what you're getting at here, and I think you're right to be able to go back and live a great life because you have all these, you know, this wealth, this enormous wealth, and these items that you can exploit that are taken from our times.
I'm just telling you, I would go back about the 1850s or so. I would teach people all about what's going to happen. No one would believe me, so I'd have to bring some kind of documentation, some kind of proof.
But wouldn't you knock
maps,
people out?
books.
Wouldn't you knock people out with your diseases?
Okay.
I mean, you're bringing your
Look, the life expectancy back then would have probably been like 50 years old, anyways. So if I knock people out a little earlier than that,
you're talking about like a possible global pandemic.
no, that's not true. No, because think about it, I have more immunities.
But they don't.
I wouldn't get sick though. I wouldn't pass across anything. I wouldn't get sick. All the things that they're about to get sick from, I've already had through my system.
Okay.
So I know I would be like the healthy kid. I would never. Everyone else would start getting sick around me.
Because you're making them sick. Because you're the carrier.
Dysentery and all that. What else did you get on the Oregon Trail? Cholera.
Cholera.
Sure.
Sure.
That's how you pronounce it.
Sure. Yeah,
And dysentery was
dysentery.
snake bites, which I wouldn't be able to prevent
You
that.
got raped by a bear or something.
You got raped by a bear once?
No. In the Oregon Trail. I would go back to like the 1300s
Mm-hmm.
with like 7 or 8 pounds of pepper. And some cloves. And
Black pepper?
Yes.
Okay.
And some chilies. And I would be like the Spice King. People would pay me billions of dollars in their dollars, whether it be drachma or whatever it is.
Okay. All right.
And I'd be rich because I'd have all these spices. Plus, I would tell them where to go.
They didn't have spices back in the 1300s?
Because you know what? I'm telling you, if you take your modern day technology and go back in time, they're probably going to kill you because they think you're a witch or you have some kind of like crazy witchcraft going on.
Like your cell phones. And
People were very religious back then, Dave, and I don't think your cell phone would work.
How big is this time machine for you to carry all these spices?
Well, I mean, I'm just talking like just a box,
Like a big old
grocery
bag, like a
sure,
big-
grocery bag full of spices. But that's what people wanted, like spices. They didn't know about these exotic things,
That tastes really good on their bison.
or even their goat.
Going back in the 1300s, it's the same thing as a third world country. It's the same thing. If you showed up in a third world country with tons of spices, you'd probably be just as rich as you would if you went to 1300. I'm telling you. You don't need a time machine, you need an airplane.
What kind of an airplane?
It doesn't really matter.
I'm just saying, if you go back in time that far with spices and modern day technology, spices not so much, but modern day technology. Say you bring your iPod back and you bring batteries and speakers.
Who
and
has an
start-
iPod?
I don't know. So, I mean, if you go back in time with these modern day technology, MP3 player of some kind, and batteries and speakers,
Okay.
you take it to the 1200 and you start playing like modern day music, they'll kill you.
Yeah, probably.
They will execute you fast. You can say any kind of Gregorian chant.
Okay. Well, you should probably then bring weapons with you just in case they want to get.
You want to defend
funky.
yourself.
How long would you stay for?
No more than 48 hours.
Okay.
Okay.
So you just go.
Maybe 3 weeks.
All right. So you would go there, distribute all your spices, make your money, and then come home with this
But
money
see-
that no one knows what it is.
But see, I'd bury my treasure somewhere where nobody knows where it is.
That's a good idea, like a bunch of antiques, and then you could bury them but you got to remember where it is. It's gonna be tough because there's no
Remember,
maps.
I mean-
There's no maps. How would you know where you are?
But you'll know where you'll figure that out.
No, you won't. How would you
No.
figure it out? There's no maps, no countries at that time.
If you have a time machine,
Hardly countries.
if you have a time machine, you're going to need to be able to choose where you're going. Because when you travel through time, you're not actually traveling just through
Okay.
time,
So you would be
but you're
saying
traveling
like.
through space too.
So you'd be saying like I'm going to Louisville, Kentucky in 1320.
Yes.
But you'd have to look around. You'd have to have a landmark of some sort. Like you have to put like some kind of funky rock in the ground. It's like something, and hopefully it doesn't get moved.
Okay, so maybe what you're going to have to do is
GPS coordinates. That's what you need
you,
because that's exact.
there's not going to be any GPS back then.
No, but the current day, when you in your time machine you say I want to go to these coordinates and this year.
But the coordinates in your time machine are going to have to include space-time, not just time.
This is too complex for me. We need someone really smart to do this.
But say we've worked out the details of the time machine, we still have to work out the physics of the space-time continuum. Because Earth is over here right now, and it could have been over here back in 1320.
We can have the computer figure it out. The computers are smart, man.
Yeah.
They can figure it out. We'll leave that to the computer. I'm not worried about that.
Let's throw this out then. Let's just say that the space-time continuum has been figured out.
Okay. So you basically, I would use GPS coordinates things, and you know exactly where you are. Okay? All right, so then you go there, and you get a whole bunch of antiques. You bury it.
Antiques?
Well, money, antique, yeah, like bowls and things, and like things that are from 1300, animal teeth, and...
Animal teeth?
Yeah, and tusks, yes. Anything you can find. Anyways, and then basically, you bury it, you come back, you dig it all up, and you take it to Pawn Stars.
Oh, yeah.
You make a ton of money, man.
Go to Vegas and just have a hock it.
Yeah, that's the best, because then they get all this money for it, and they go straight to the casino and lose it all.
Well, the thing is, like, why would you bring back, like, a credenza when you could bring back, like, maybe 5 pounds of gold coins minted in that time?
What's a credenza?
Like a desk.
I want to bring back a desk.
Well, you said antiques.
I meant like bowls and like headdresses and things.
Like bowls?
Like bowls. Like what you cook with, like mixing bowls.
Okay, so items that... Maybe some books?
Oh, if there's any bowl, for sure.
Or,
Books made of braille would be the best.
Minted coins.
Oh,
minted coins from the time.
Oh, yeah, because there's coins from the 1800s that are fetching tons of money. Imagine a 1300
I know.
coin.
Oh, mint condition minted coins. That's what they call them, mint condition.
That's a mint, right?
You bring some of those back, and all of a sudden you try to sell them.
I think minted means it's from the U.S. Mint. I don't think it means
No,
it's
it's
a
mint. Minting is like the actual process of creating that coin. Like stamping it, it's minted.
Okay, so that's what you would do. You'd go to 1300s, you'd go and with a bunch of spices and whatnot,
And
trade them for goods,
yes.
and bury the goods.
And tell them where India really was. I mean, because Columbus went the wrong way, apparently looking for India, and he ran into our country.
They didn't believe him, or they believe you.
You know what? I think I'd really screw things up if I did that.
You better just stay home.
Yeah, what's the point of time travel? You're going to mess everything up.